Hello and welcome back to the True Blue Show. We are here, a disappointing time. Full time, Chelsea nil, Leeds United nil. It was tough. It was tough to watch. We just didn't create enough chances through the 90 minutes. We looked so flat in the transition from attack to defence. We had so much of the ball. Actually finishing the match with 62% possession. Such a high figure for the Premier League, and especially against a team like Leeds who love to press and love to get the ball back. We actually looked so shaky in the first half, and we start off with a 4-back system, which is actually the first time we started with that under Thomas Tuchel. So we tried what I assume is to come out the gates quick and try and get a goal early and really press the Leeds United team into making mistakes. But all that happened is we were equally as exposed on the counter-attack when we were trying to do that regular slow build-up play where Jorginho comes back and collects the ball and drives into that space, which is assisted by the two wide wing-backs and then the two wide attackers. He just didn't have that freedom. He was just so locked in with constantly being pressed. If we just bring up here the starting 11, as you can see, we started with a 4-2-3-1. Edouard Mendy keeping his place in goal. Another clean sheet for him. He has been outstanding for us. Probably one of the most consistent performers in the club. He made, I think, 4 saves. We'll get on to a couple of them in a minute. But yeah, Mendy in goal. Chilwell gets a place, a rare spot in the starting 11 under Thomas Tuchel. I think he's a little bit more of the defensive-minded fullback, whereas we don't quite get the offensive output with Ben Chilwell as we would with Marcus Alonso. So we're looking to maybe have him sit a little deeper and really try and use the two wide men, the two wide attackers to exploit the space. So Havertz can come in deeper and drive at the defenders. Again, we got Christensen, Rudiger in the back too. Fantastic performance for us under Tuchel, and another pretty good performance. I mean, you can't say the defenders did badly with a clean sheet. I'm really more being a bit petty about the midfield and the attack. I think defensively we looked pretty solid. Again, I think while we were playing as the 4 at the back, we looked a little bit out of place. It was almost like we felt like we were missing that extra man to move that ball just one step further along at the back, just have that last little safety net. Azpilicueta playing at right back, you're not going to get a bad performance out of him. We continue with the double pivot. This time it's a little bit deeper than it's normally been. Kante and Jorginho. I think Jorginho has been fantastic this under Tuchel. He's really just shown that little bit of defensive side and like strong composure that we haven't seen of him, I'd say, as yet, potentially since Sarri was at the club. And Kante again having a great performance. Ziyech coming in actually as the central cam, a new role for him at the club. We haven't really seen him play much here. We see him more as that inside forward on the right hand side. He looked lost in my opinion. I think he's had a few promising performances, but I think this one is gonna set him back. He just looked lost. Every time he'd come to collect the ball, we just didn't quite know what to do. The ball's getting lost in his feet. Obviously, with him being very one-sided with his left foot, sometimes you just need like a quick pass with his right, and he was trying to fiddle about with it at times. I think he actually became a bit of a problem with slowing us down when trying to press on with the attack. Pulisic and Mount, I think, again, had pretty good games. I think Pulisic had a promising game. He had an excellent start the first half, creating a chance for Havertz early on. And then Havertz starting as the 9. I think he looked a bit lonely at times, and sometimes he had to come back deep to get the ball. So then when we were trying to look forward, we were then missing that man. Like, where he plays best as like that false 9, like 9.5 kind of player. It works better when our wide attackers are higher up the pitch. And in this case, where we're playing the 4-2-3-1, our wide attackers were sitting a little bit deeper. We would have liked to see them move forward a bit more. But okay, now we'll move on to the first half analysis. Okay, so we start off with the first half. Probably the poorest 45 minutes we've seen under Thomas Tuchel, and I think that's purely down to the system we played. Players just didn't look comfortable. We see a very early chance from Kai Havertz, which was a great run wide on the right hand side by Christian Pulisic, puts a great ball into the box, and Havertz just snatches at it, falls straight into the keeper's arms, and then immediately they're on the counter attack, and the ball's in the back of our net like 40 seconds later. And we were lucky that Christensen was nice and awake, and managed to stay forward and kind of take the risk and keep Bamford offside, and we were lucky to not go down there. That we were nice and disciplined in the defence, but it shows that when we're in this 4 system, we do just appear to be missing that extra man. That with that third man, we would have been tracking the runner, and we probably would have intercepted the ball before the pass had even gone through the middle. And then again, a couple of minutes later, we go down the pitch, and a mismatch of events happen, and it ends up coming off a Leeds player and hitting the Leeds crossbar, falling straight into Meslier's hands, which is actually a regular thing we see a lot throughout this match, is just poor shots being taken straight at the goalkeeper. We really need to be testing these goalkeepers if we want any chance of scoring goals. Then again, about 16-minute mark, a fantastic save from Edouard Mendy, using all 6'3" of his frame, really reaches up high to get the slightest of touch to put Tyler Roberts' very, very good curled shot into the top corner onto the crossbar. And we were lucky. He saved us on multiple occasions today. We really saw the best of Mendy when we needed him. And apart from that, not really much happened in the first half. We had so much of the ball. We just had absolutely nothing to show for it. And again, I think it's all down to the system. We changed the system, and it didn't work. It felt like a bit of an unnecessary risk. I know Tuchel was more than likely trying to rotate and get the right players in the right positions, knowing we have this big game against Atletico Madrid on Wednesday. I think it was more of a safety precaution than anything else, but I would have liked to see us working with the system we already have and trying to fit the players in instead of trying to fit the system to the players. But apart from that, now we'll move on to the second half. So the second half, a much more promising one at spaces, but I think in other places we still struggled with attacking the ball and really working the ball in some good space. Ben Chilwell had worked well to attack up that left-hand side and support Mason Mount on the overlaps, but I think we just wanted to get him in a more advanced area. So we see us change to this back five like we normally see. Pulisic comes collect the ball a little bit deeper, and we actually see Bruce James end up coming on for him, and Ziyech comes on for Timo Werner. So Mount moves on to that right hand side, as we normally see, and obviously we look to expose the teams on the break by getting Ziyech to come inside on that right hand side to support runs with Havertz and get Mount to use the wide space he has and really engage the overlaps on the fullbacks. And I think with this more rigid look, we can see a much better Chelsea. And in the second half again, Hudson-Odoi comes off the bench and looks really promising. He has a few good runs but snaps at a few shots. Kante had a great chance and hit it over the crossbar. Again, it was just a bit of a nothing game, really. We saw so much of the ball throughout the 90 minutes. We just didn't put it in any of the right areas, and we didn't look to engage the attack to try and test the goalkeeper in any kind of way. So it's definitely something that I want to see improvements on. Obviously, if we perform like that and get the 0-0 draw against Atletico Madrid, I'm more than happy. But in the league, where we're crucial to be fighting for these 3 points with West Ham and Everton chomping at our heels with these 2 games in hand, obviously they'll be playing tomorrow. But we just want to be taking advantage of these games where we're playing these lower half teams, and we know we can go out and get a result. We just need to be attacking them more and finding these results and really grinding them out to the end of the season, because we've still got a long way to go. 9 games is still a lot of games, and we have a few tough games left in that time period. So every point counts at the moment. So we just need to keep going. But today I'm going to nominate Edouard Mendy as my man of the match. I think it could have gone either way. I think Tyler Roberts had a great game for Leeds, but my personal Chelsea man of the match, I'm going to be giving it to Edouard Mendy. Okay, that about wraps it up. Chelsea 0, Leeds United 0, as I said. Very disappointing match. Everyone's just eager to see what happens on Wednesday. I think we're all going to be quick to put this game at the back of our minds and move on to the next one, as we have some really key knockout matches coming up throughout the next week. So I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.